So Dyna, is a trigger a character flaw?
Not at all. Triggers are actually teachers or little flags. I was thinking about it as we were getting ready. So think about one of our friends being a mom, taking her 3-year-old across the street. So as soon as the child steps across, she grabs his hand. So the child could go nuts and say, no, don't hold me. Or the child can recognize mom is just protecting me and walk across the street. Okay. So that's what a trigger is. It is just a flag to saying, hello, there's something that we need to talk about. There's something that occurred in the past that is still keeping you captive.
So what would be a good example of a trigger?
Well, I can give you my own example.
Okay.
I grew up with alcohol abuse in my family. So I remember being in nursing school and had to help somebody in an emergency room, and this man had alcohol on his breath, and my body pretty much shut down. I started sweating, I started getting tense, and I had to really remove myself because all I could smell was the alcohol and I couldn't even think. So a trigger is a bundle of emotions that are getting set off like a little firework. So it's your body trying to protect yourself from what happened in the past, but your body is, your heart is trying to protect yourself, but your body is reacting so fast that it's, once the trigger is acted upon, there is no going back. So the trick is to recognize and observe yourself.
So a trigger can be a positive thing as far as trying to tell you that there's something there that needs to be worked on.
A trigger is always a positive thing. It's just that when we hear that word, we feel like we're less than, or we haven't healed, we haven't completed the healing, but that's not so. It just means that something within us still needs attention.
And I thought about myself dealing with abandonment issues because of the way I was raised, and that goes way back. But I'd run into a situation where I'd lose a job, or maybe you and I were interacting and you'd do something that would make me feel like I was being left, and that triggered that abandonment feeling. And it was there until I saw it and I actually dealt with it. So how do we deal with those things?
Well, first thing is always observing and recognizing. I am aware that when certain things happen, maybe it's a smell, a facial expression, somebody that looks like someone that I know, or like I said earlier, maybe a alcohol smell, or it could be a high-pitched voice, really anything if you ask me. First thing is observing. When that happens, my heart rate goes up, I start sweating, or I get really tense and I want to get really loud, because when I was little, I wasn't allowed to be expressive.
Understand.
So when we recognize that, then the first thing is, if we can catch ourselves right before the trigger goes down the spiral and pausing and not saying anything is more work in that situation than you can imagine, because we really want to go into action, run, fight or flight, and protect ourselves over and over again.
It does seem to motivate emotions that are anger or yelling or hiding.
Because that has become the pattern on how we are reacting, because we don't know how to handle the situation. But recognizing that we can stop and maybe breathe, or maybe we have to remove ourselves from the person, from the situation, to gather our thoughts and say, this is just my flag telling me that I still need to work on something before we go into that same pattern of reacting. So we can later on go down the rabbit trail and say, I need to look back and see, why is this still bothering me? Why is this still setting this reaction off in me? And it could be that you were a child and there were some situations that obviously were out of your control. And every time you hear this person talk in a certain way, or you smell, the same muscle memory is set into motion. The trick is to realize I am not in that situation any longer, and now I have to find a new pattern to react when that reoccurs.
So the triggers are not permanent. They're not there forever.
They're there as long as they need to, so we can heal our heart.
I hear you. So it's very important to recognize that you have a trigger, to ask why. Am I responding or reacting this way?
And also recognizing that it is okay. It's not a flaw. It's not your enemy. It's actually your friend saying, hey, I want to hold your hand to show you the next step to healing.
And I'm trying to protect you, actually,
yes,
and keep you. And it does help to recognize all of that, and then actually go to the trigger and say, trigger, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for protecting me.
As long as you have.
Yes.
But now I'm safe.
But I'm okay now.
Yes.
And tell her why you're safe. I've matured. I've grown.
And that's where we come in. We can come in with life coaching and help the person recognize and take the steps to healing. Emotion code goes even deeper. It organically removes the layers of what has happened in the past. Before you know it, you wonder, why am I not reacting to this? This really used to set me off. And life coaching and emotion code goes in tandem. It works beautifully together.
It has beautiful, and it's been beautiful to see people get beyond their triggers.
Yes.
And begin to live in freedom.
For 100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
so beautiful.
Check us out on DynaJemLife.com. We would love to work with you and help you find your teachers in your life.